So in this video I'm going to be talking about JUnit testing. So JUnit is a popular testing framework for Java that's used to write and execute unit tests. So unit testing is a software testing method that focuses on testing individual units or components of software in isolation from the rest. So this could be in isolation from the rest of the system, or it could be just identifying individual elements that need testing on their own. JUnit provides a set of annotations, assertions, and test runners to help developers write and run unit tests. The primary purpose of JUnit testing is to ensure that each unit or component of the software performs as it's intended, as well as meeting the specified requirements. It helps to catch defects really early, and it can also help catch them before they move on or propagate to other parts of the system. It can also serve as documentation for the software's behaviour. So there's a couple of benefits of using JUnit testing. So early detection of tech defects. So JUnit tests can be run frequently, so you can run it during the actual development process, and it can help detect errors early. Improve code quality. So writing JUnit tests encourages developers to write more modular code that's reusable and maintainable. Regression testing. So JUnit tests can be automatically run as part of a continuous integration process to ensure that changes to the code base do not introduce new defects. So changes to new parts of the code don't actually affect the stuff that's already working. And then documentation. So JUnit tests can serve as a documentation for the expected behaviour of the software. So JUnit test as a whole is an essential part of modern software development, as it helps to ensure that software is reliable, maintainable, and meets the intended requirements. So, what we're going to do now then is we are going to actually basically create some JUnit tests. So the first thing, there we go. My new bar wouldn't come up. I've got some Eclipse. Here we go. So this is a currency converter. If I run it, enter amount, I don't really know. British pounds is what I've entered. Invalid currency because I've spelt it incorrect, but it doesn't give me an option to rerun it. So let's try it again. There we go. All works, but we're not really worried about that. So what we need to do first is we actually need to make sure that you've got a JUnit test or JUnit installed. If you haven't, just go to Help, Marketplace. Give it a minute to open. Loading. There we go. And type in JUnit. There we go. Now I've already got JUnit installed at the default. If you're using Eclipse 2022 or above, it will come as default. If you're using 2019, then you need to install it. So what we're going to do then is we're going to right click on our currency converter folder, click new, and then JUnit test case. Just move the microphone a little bit closer, there we go. So I'm going to call this currency converter test. Like that. Okay. I'm going to call it test 1. And then I'm going to click finish. So what that's done, actually, I think I may have done that incorrectly. Let me just Control Z that. Okay, let me 1 second. Okay, try that again. So right click, new, JUnit test. I want JUnit test 4, that's what I wasn't 100% sure about. I'm going to copy currency converter. Oh, wrong one. Paste it into name. And I'm going to click finish. Perfect. So, what we're going to do now is we are just going to basically, there's a lot of ways this can be used, but I'm only going to give you a brief introduction because really I don't want to do your assignment for you. So we're just going to focus on the convert method here. So the first thing we need to do is we have imported assert we need to import JUnit test, which is already done for us, which is different to the 2019 version. And then we actually need to start the test. Okay, so let's get rid of this. So I'm going to go I'm going to remove that. I'm going to change the name, do it that way. So I'm going to call it test convert USD to euro, like that. And then inside here, we're going to create two variables. So one is the actual, what should come out, and one is the expected. So one is what the program creates, so the value the program identifies, and one is what it should be. So let's do the program, what the program says first. So double actual, and we're going to set it to equals currency converter dot convert USD. That one should be euro, like that, and then this one should be a value, and it's going to be 100, like that. And we'll close it off like that. So this convert is linking to the method called convert inside the currency converter class, which is there. And this is saying that when we convert USD to euro, it should come out, and we use the value of 100, we are expecting 100. Okay, so, or we are expecting the value to be 83, because we're going to work that out in a second. So double expected equals 83. So whatever the value is should come out to be 83. So when we put 100 in, the value should be 83. So then we need an assert equals, which is going to be expected actual, and then 0.001, like that. And that's because I've spelled actual wrong, which I do all the time. Let's copy that, paste it in there. Good. So we're using the assert equals method. So what this method does is checks that the actual result of the convert method is equal to the expected result. So we're going to check that what is expected is equal to what actually gets out. And this 0.001 is basically the tolerance. So basically it counts for rounding errors. So we are accepting an inconsistency of 0.001. So if we run this, so let me save it. And I'm going to right click and I'm going to click run as JUnit test. So I'll get a JUnit test there. And now it will tell me that that test, which is here, is 100% correct. It's run, it's passed. There's no errors, no failures. It runs. Let's do the same thing, but this time we're going to convert euro to USD. So because I'm lazy, then I'm going to copy that and paste it there. This time we're going to call it euro to USD, like that. And we're going to swap it round, so that is euro. Oh, that is USD. I'm going to stick with 100. This time the expected is 120. I'm getting these expected from here. So £1.20 euro to USD, we're using the value of 100. So 100 times £1.20 or 1.20 is 120. And then that's the same. We're going to stick to the same tolerance. Let's run it again. And this time we get two tests. Now, let's do something a little bit different. Let's say we expect it to be 126. What happens then? So we get two errors. So, sorry, one failure. So one passed and one failed. So the euro to USD failed because the actual and the expected are not the same. So if I put it back to 120, it now works. So what that would tell me would be that either my maths is off here or there's something wrong with that conversion. And we can keep going. We'll do another one. We'll do, so we've got Euro to USD. Let's do Great British Pounds. So this one would be Euro, that one would be Great British Pounds. We'll use 100 again. Great British Pounds is 87, so it'll be 87 instead of 120. And we'll stick with the same tolerance. Run it again. Run 3, and all 3 have passed. Now, let's do the same thing again, and we'll test the last one. This time it's J, Great British Pounds, to Euro, like that. And then it's Great British Pounds, Euro. Let's look at what the conversion is. Great British Pounds to Euro, so it's 115. Run it. And perfect, that works. So there's lots of things you could do. I mean, we could have a look for what happens when we input minus numbers. I mean, I've not actually tested it for minus numbers. It works for minus numbers. So I was wondering if we could test for minus numbers. Yeah. Anyway, let's have a go, see if we can actually do it, see if we can write it. So let's go back to our test cases. So let's make a new one. So I'm going to go at test, if I could spell right, like that. Then we're going to do public void. Let's test convert invalid currency. So let's see then. So let's create an actual. So double actual equals currency converter dot convert, and we haven't got Australian dollars. So let's do Australian dollars to Euro, and then let us use 100 again. DOUBLE. Then let's create another double for expected, and let's say it's going to be 0, okay, because we're not expecting that to happen. And I'm going to steal this because I'm lazy. There we go. Let's see what happens then. So we've done 5 tests this time, and all 5 is run. Now, if I did a very quick Google, 1 in AUD, I know you can't see this, 1.85. So if we expect that to be 185, and then do our run, 1 should fail. Yeah, that one should fail. And that's because Australian dollars doesn't actually exist in our currency converter. We could do this same again, and you can do this as many times as you want, basically. Let's put it back to 0. And I'm going to copy it. And this time we are going to do invalid conversion. And then we are going to swap AUD or USD to Great British Pounds. And again, it should come out as 0, so we'll test it first so you can see it does come out as 0. There we go. And then we'll swap it and put something random in, like 1, 2, 3. And 1 should fail. There we go. So if a test fails, then what you would need to do is basically look back at where that comes from. So here, for example, we're testing that USD to Great British Pounds. If we look, we don't actually have a USD to Great British Pounds. We could add one. So we could do final double USD to Great British Pounds, and I'm going to make this up 1.45. And then we need to copy and paste this. And this one will be... Actually, let's not do USD, let's do AUD. Australian dollars to Great British Pound. So I have, that comes under there, we will copy that. And then we'll do AUD. If currency equals AUD, result equals amount, and we're going to copy AUD. And I think it was GBP. Yeah. So let's just test this works. Invalid currency, okay. Because I've not done it down here, have I? I've just done the menu. I'm going to copy that one. I'm doing this on the fly, by the way. Oh, AUD is equal to... Alright, let's try that. Main. Oh, there's going to be so many errors here. Maybe it was a bad idea to do this. In thread main. That one works fine. I fixed it. I don't know what I did, but I fixed it. I basically set the if to currency equal to AUD instead of GBP and did it that way. So let's run it. Select. Here we go. And I'm going to do AUD and it works. So now if I go back and do the test case for AUD and I work out what that was, 6145, 645, AUD to Euro, AUD to GBP, 145, might not work. So it's failed. What's it failed on? AUD. AUD, GBP, Great British Pound, GBP, yeah, got it correct. AUD, GBP, 145. Okay. So I've run this using ECLMA and it shows me what is actually not working. So I run coverage on it. So it's just that element there that's not actually getting in. So the rest of it's working. It's just that one. So I'm just wondering why the assert equals isn't working. It checks that, it just doesn't get to that. I'm not sure why, but anyway, it doesn't really matter at this point. It's just a case of working out what it is. Now if we put that back to 0, let's just test if it works. they all pass. So something's wrong with my code. Now, as a programmer, what I'd do is I'd sit and I'd work it all out. But it's now 9:45, and I haven't got enough brain space today. But that is like a whistle-stop tour. Now, you're doing it with a calculator, so you could potentially do a lot more than a currency converter. But if you wanted to practice on the currency converter, then I'm going to try and upload these to Git and then put the link in the bottom. I'll try and load them to GitHub and put the things in the bottom. But yeah, but that's it for now. So that is a whistle-stop tour on JUnit. The last thing we need to do is refactoring. So with refactoring, there's a couple of ways to do it. So we can do a rename. So this allows you to change the name of a method, a class, or a variable throughout your code. So to use this feature, what we need to do is we need to right-click on the name of the element you want to rename, click on refactor, and then click on rename. So say, for example, I want to rename this. I've right-clicked, I've gone to refactor, and then I've gone to rename. So my options are, now let's rename it. So USD to GBP. Now, if you notice, it also changes it here as well. So this changes to GBP, press enter. Already duplicated. Let's rename it again. Refactor, rename to UD. We'll just do that. Done. It's renamed. Perfect. And it's renamed every instance of that. The other thing we can do with the refactor is we can extract method. So this allows you to take a block of code and extract it into a separate method. So to use this feature, you need to select the block of code you want to extract, right click on it and choose refactor extract method. So say, for example, if I want to refactor this, I would right click, refactor, and I will go extract method. Oh, it's not a valid one. So let's try the main. Right click, refactor. Swear I'm on refactor. Extract class. Where does the main end? Let's click main. Let's try and do the convert. We can extract superclass. Try that. And basically you'll be creating a superclass, let's call it convert. Click next. Finish. Perfect. Now if I go back to here, I've got a superclass called convert, and basically it's converted everything, so it's taken all of that stuff away. Basically it's just inheriting it, if that makes sense. And we can move, which allows you to move a class, method, or variable to a different package or file. So again, if I want to move this variable, I'm going to click on refactor and I'm going to click on move, and I'm going to click browse at this point, and there's no really way anything I can move it to. So if I create a new class really quickly, click new class test like that. If I go back to here, refactor, move, it's not going to let me do anything, is it? There we go. Click OK. Click OK. Go to test. It's moved all of that for me. Okay. So then there's many other types of refactoring you could actually do as well. But depending on your needs, refactoring can help you improve the quality of your code because it makes it more readable, maintainable, and extensible. So there's 3 different things. There's rename, so it allows you to change the name of variables, classes, methods, etc. all at the same time. There's extract method, which allows you to grab a block of code, extract it into a separate method, and allows you to actually take that block of code into its separate method and use it in its separate method. And move, which allows you to move a class, a method, or a variable to a different package or file. So that is pretty much JUnit testing and refactoring in Java. Have fun!